The crash. John's spacecraft glided through the vast expanse of the galaxy. He marveled at the endless tapestry of stars that stretched before him. A seasoned explorer, John was driven by an insatiable curiosity and a deep-seated compassion for all forms of life. His journeys had taken him to the farthest reaches of known space, yet countless mysteries still waited to be unraveled. It was during one of his solitary expeditions that fate led him to a desolate planet in a remote corner of the galaxy. Descending through the planet's turbulent atmosphere, John's keen eyes spotted the wreckage of a spacecraft nestled amidst the rugged terrain below. Without hesitation, he guided his vessel toward the crash site, his heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and concern. As he set foot on the barren landscape, John's senses were assailed by the harsh elements and the eerie silence that hung in the air. Amidst the twisted metal and debris of the downed spacecraft, he spotted a figure huddled against a rocky outcrop, their form obscured by shadows. Approaching cautiously, John's heart sank as he realized the figure was a young alien girl. Her slender frame was battered and bruised, her exotic features contorted in pain. Despite the fear and mistrust that flickered in her alien eyes, John saw a spark of hope that refused to be extinguished. With gentle hands and soothing words, John reached out to the injured girl, offering her his help and reassurance. Though their languages were as different as the stars themselves, John's kindness transcended the barriers of speech, bridging the gap between their worlds. With each passing moment, John's determination to save the alien girl, whom he soon learned was named Nova, only grew stronger. Ignoring his own fatigue and the dangers that lurked in the shadows, he worked tirelessly to tend to Nova's wounds and provide her with shelter and sustenance. Despite the odds stacked against them, John refused to give up hope, for in Nova's eyes, he saw a reflection of his own unwavering spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest corners of the galaxy, there was still light to be found. A fragile bond. As John approached the crash site, the weight of the situation pressed heavily upon him. The wreckage sprawled out like a monstrous metal carcass, twisted and broken under the unforgiving glare of the alien sun. Amidst the chaos, he spotted a figure barely discernible amidst the debris, a solitary beacon of life amidst the wreckage. Heart pounding, John hurried forward, his boots crunching against the scorched earth with each determined step. His mind raced with a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions, his every instinct urging him forward toward the unknown. Drawing closer, he could make out the faint outline of the figure, a shadow amidst the wreckage. With each step, his heart seemed to beat louder in his chest, a steady rhythm of anticipation and dread. Finally, he reached her side, his breath catching in his throat as he took in the sight before him. There, lying amidst the wreckage, was Nova, her form battered and broken, a fragile whisper of life amidst the chaos. Without hesitation, John knelt beside her, his hands trembling as he reached out to touch her. Her skin was cool to the touch, her breath shallow and labored as she lay there, barely conscious. "Nova," he whispered, his voice barely more than a hoarse whisper. "Can you hear me?" For a moment, there was no response, only the distant echo of his own words hanging in the air. Then, slowly, Nova's eyes fluttered open, her gaze clouded with confusion and pain. "Easy," John murmured, his voice soft and reassuring. "You're going to be okay. I'm here to help." Though he knew she couldn't understand his words, John hoped that his tone would convey his intent. To his relief, Nova seemed to sense his sincerity, her eyes flickering with a glimmer of understanding. With gentle hands, John began to assess Nova's injuries, his fingers probing delicately as he searched for signs of life. Despite the severity of her condition, he refused to give in to despair, focusing all his energy on the task at hand. Hour by hour, John worked tirelessly, tending to Nova's wounds with a meticulous care born of desperation. He patched her up as best he could, using whatever supplies he could scavenge from the wreckage, his hands moving with a practiced precision. Building bridges. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, John and Nova's bond deepened, forged in the crucible of their shared experiences and the unyielding spirit that burned within them both. Despite the vast expanse of space that separated their worlds, they found solace and strength in each other's presence, their connection transcending the boundaries of language and culture. With each passing day, John and Nova worked tirelessly to bridge the gap that separated them, their determination unwavering in the face of adversity. Though their initial attempts at communication had been fraught with frustration and misunderstanding, they refused to be deterred, using gestures, expressions, and simple words to convey their thoughts and feelings. Through trial and error, they began to develop their own unique language, a patchwork of words and gestures that allowed them to communicate with a clarity and depth that defied explanation. With each new word learned and each new concept understood, their bond grew stronger, binding them together in a connection that was as unbreakable as it was unshakable. In the quiet moments between their makeshift lessons, John and Nova shared stories of their respective worlds, each one a window into the other's soul. John spoke of Earth with its vast oceans and towering mountains, its bustling cities and sprawling countryside. He spoke of the resilience of humanity, of its capacity for love and compassion, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. In turn, Nova regaled John with tales of her own world, a place of wonder and mystery where the laws of nature were as fluid as the shifting sands of the desert. She spoke of the ancient civilizations that had once flourished there, of their art and culture, their science and technology. She spoke of the beauty of her world, of its towering spires and shimmering skies, its endless oceans and lush forests. Facing adversity. As they shared their stories, John and Nova began to see the world through each other's eyes, gaining a newfound appreciation for the beauty and wonder that surrounded them. They laughed together and cried together, their hearts open and their souls laid bare. And in those moments, as they stood beneath the alien sky bathed in the soft glow of distant stars, John and Nova knew that they were not alone. For in each other, they had found a kindred spirit, a companion to share in the joys and sorrows of their journey through the cosmos. As Nova's wounds gradually healed and her strength returned, John found himself confronted with a dilemma that weighed heavily on his heart. For as much as he longed to resume his explorations and venture forth into the unknown, he could not deny the deep bond that had formed between him and Nova. She had become more than just a companion. She was his confidant, his friend, and perhaps something more. With each passing day, John wrestled with his conflicting emotions, torn between his sense of duty and his growing attachment to Nova. On one hand, the call of adventure beckoned him forth, promising new horizons and untold wonders. On the other, the thought of leaving Nova behind filled him with a profound sense of emptiness, as if a part of him would be lost forever. Nova, too, struggled with her own inner turmoil, her heart torn between her duty to her own kind and her burgeoning feelings for the human who had saved her. As much as she longed to return to her people and fulfill her obligations, she could not deny the deep connection that had formed between her and John. He had shown her kindness and compassion in a world that had seemed cold and indifferent, and for that she was eternally grateful. The growing threat. Even as they grappled with their conflicting emotions, John and Nova found themselves facing external threats that tested their resolve and unity. From the depths of the alien wilderness, hostile creatures emerged, their eyes gleaming with malevolent intent as they sought to tear apart the fragile bond that had formed between John and Nova. Undeterred, John stood his ground, his determination unwavering in the face of danger. With a steady hand and a fierce resolve, he fought back against the creatures that threatened to tear them apart, his every instinct honed by years of experience and survival. Beside him, Nova stood tall, her courage matching his own as she faced down their adversaries with a fierce determination. Though she lacked John's strength and agility, Nova made up for it with her keen intellect and resourcefulness, finding ways to outmaneuver their foes and turn the tide of battle in their favor. And through it all, that bond only grew stronger, forged in the crucible of adversity and tempered by the fires of shared struggle. Together, they faced the challenges that lay before them, their hearts united in a common purpose as they fought to overcome the obstacles that stood in their way. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, John and Nova emerged victorious, their bonds stronger than ever before. A new journey. Despite the call of adventure that still beckoned to John, he knew that he could never leave Nova behind. For she had become more than just a companion. She was his partner, his equal, and his truest friend. And together, they would face whatever challenges the universe threw their way, side by side, hand in hand, their hearts filled with hope and their souls ablaze with the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Under the radiant glow of the alien sky, bathed in the soft shimmer of distant stars, John and Nova stood united, their bond unbreakable, their spirits indomitable. They knew that their journey was far from over, that countless adventures still awaited them beyond the horizon. But for now, in this moment, they were content to simply be, to cherish the connection they had forged and the love they had found. And so, with hearts full of hope and eyes fixed on the future, John and Nova set forth on their new journey, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For together, they were unstoppable, a force to be reckoned with in the vast expanse of the cosmos. The uncharted frontier. As they ventured into the uncharted frontier, John and Nova knew that they would face countless trials and tribulations, that their path would be fraught with danger and uncertainty. But they also knew that they would face it all together, their hearts united in a bond that was as unbreakable as it was enduring. For in the end, it was not the destination that mattered, but the journey itself, the moments of joy and sorrow, of triumph and defeat, of love and loss that defined their existence. And in those moments, as they stood beneath the alien sky and gazed upon the endless expanse of stars, John and Nova knew that they had found something truly special, something that transcended the boundaries of time and space, of language and culture. Together, they would continue to explore the vast reaches of the galaxy, their hearts filled with wonder and their spirits ablaze with the promise of new discoveries. And in each other, they had found a companion to share in the journey, a kindred spirit to walk beside them through the endless expanse of the cosmos. For in the end, it was the bond they had forged, the love they had found, that made their journey truly worthwhile, a reminder that even in the darkest corners of the galaxy, there was still light to be found, still hope to be cherished, still love to be celebrated. And so, with hearts full of hope and eyes fixed on the future, John and Nova set forth on their new journey, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For together, they were unstoppable, a force to be reckoned with in the vast expanse of the cosmos.